Hey everyone, welcome to the For Goodness Case channel. I'm your host, Mark Brown. Today we're going to be speaking with Kirsten, the editorial director and co-founder of Equally Wed. Equally Wed is an online publication dedicated to the LGBT community. Play that intro. I'm very excited to be joined by Kirsten, the editorial director and co-founder of Equally Wed. How are you today?
Thanks. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm great. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to chat with you.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump right into it.
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I was born in Georgia and grew up here, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia currently with my wife, and we have twin 8-year-old sons.
Awesome.
And we have a dog and a turtle and a hamster.
Okay.
And, when I'm not working, my life is really about my family. So, we spend a lot of time outdoors, doing a lot of hiking and doing some yoga, and I volunteer a lot in their school too. So,
awesome.
Spending time with friends and primarily focused on my family.
Awesome. Very good. So, Kirsten, how did you get started with Equally Wed?
Sure. Well, so my background is in writing and editing, and I was a newspaper editor when we decided to launch Equally Wed. And my wife already worked for herself as a graphic designer and website developer, but working with her own company.
Wow.
And so we really, already had the skill sets to do what we wanted to do.
Absolutely.
And it was exciting. We also pulled in a lot of the writers that I knew to help us, create the content to launch. I was working full-time as a newspaper editor at the time, and I think for the first 10 months of that of Equally Wed, I continued to have that full-time job. And then I got pregnant, and we had with twins. And so once our newspaper decided to shut down when I was about 8 months pregnant with twins, and that was kind of the thrust forward that we needed to know that this was going to be, our full-time gig.
Absolutely.
And so since then, it has been my only job, and I've loved it. And my wife still does have a graphic design and web development firm because she is so passionate about working with other clients as well.
Absolutely. Very, very good. Great story.
Okay.
Very good. So, Kirsten, you got to talk to us about the inspiration and motivation behind the creation of Equally Wed.
Sure. Okay, so Equally Wed started, the inspiration behind it started when at the time, my girlfriend proposed to me right before my 30th birthday in New York.
Nice.
And we came back to Atlanta, and I was really excited. I'd never been engaged before. I'd never been in that process, and it can be kind of overwhelming,
Absolutely.
And so I went out to the bookstore, and I got online, and this was 2008, by the way, and everywhere I looked, there was nobody who looked like us. And I thought, well, this is 2008, this is modern times, and there weren't any same-sex couples, and it really bothered me, and it really broke my heart. I'm a super emotional person, Pisces. I don't know, it just got to me, and it broke me down, and I thought, how could this be? And so while we were going along planning our wedding, we just had one. Actually, we ended up having two because then New York passed it, and so we flew up to New York and got legally married there.
All right.
When we got married in Georgia, it wasn't legally recognized, but to me, a wedding is a wedding is a wedding.
Sure.
So it was no less a wedding, because even though we didn't have the courthouse, mandated.
Absolutely.
But later we were legally recognized, and that felt good. So we had. When we were going along planning our wedding, and we were getting turned down by vendors, and nobody would come out right out and say, we don't do same-sex weddings. I was always leading with, we're a lesbian couple, or I'm marrying a woman, and call me back or email me back, and we weren't getting callbacks, we weren't getting email backs, but I was putting out there as a buffer, to protect myself. Like, I don't want to get hurt later, so if you're interested, write me back. And sometimes people would write me back with religious scripture, but still didn't want our business. And so that really hurt as well. So we didn't have the media representation, and then we also struggled to find vendors who wanted to work with us. And the wheels started turning, that we didn't want other people in our community to feel like this. And so we decided to launch our own online wedding magazine for LGBTQ plus couples.
Awesome. Okay. Very good.
Okay,
Very good.
good.
So Kirsten, what can a couple expect to see when they visit equallywed.com?
We have tons of inspiration for LGBTQ plus couples. We have hundreds and hundreds of real wedding articles featuring couples from around the world, destination weddings, church weddings, ballroom weddings, outdoor weddings, intimate, 3 or 4 people to 300 people.
Oh, wow.
It runs the gamut of, because our community is so rich and vibrant. I mean, we're not just one type of wedding.
Yes.
We have so many, and that's the bulk of our content. And then we have a ton of planning articles, everything from I will to I do,
Okay.
how to select a vendor who's going to be LGBTQ plus inclusive, or how to pick a honeymoon destination where you're going to feel safe and feel like you can hold hands on the street because you're in love and you just got married, and you should be able to celebrate that.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we have all of that, but then also, choosing attire. If you're both going to be wearing gowns, maybe you don't want those to match, but you don't want them to look really off color next to each other in the photos. Or, if you're going to wear 2 suits, should you do matching, and maybe you want to play off the colors of each other's ties. That all of that we cover.
Good.
We have experts come in, from all different types of the wedding industry in terms of photography, florists, cakes, and, share their expert advice too.
Absolutely.
And then we also have couples come in and write about their stories and their struggles, because one of the things that makes our weddings unique is that we struggle with homophobia or transphobia in our families.
Right.
And that can be really difficult, figuring out who's going to show up, who should we even invite, because sometimes our hearts break when we don't, get the right or the response that we're hoping for when we are inviting people to come to our weddings, or even when we're just announcing it. There are just a lot of personal struggles that we have in the community when planning these things, and we address all of that on equallywed.com.
Awesome. So you have equallywed.com, and I know you recently started equallywedpro.com. Can you talk a little bit more about those online portals?
Sure. So equallywedpro.com is a place for wedding professionals and anyone in the hospitality industry, really, come in and learn about how to better serve the LGBTQ plus community. What our struggles are, what marriage equality is, and why it matters to your business.
Absolutely.
What it means to when a person tells you that they're non-binary or queer or genderqueer, gender non-conforming, or transgender or transmasculine. What are the differences between all of those things? Why it's important for you to know it, and how you can better serve the LGBTQ plus community
Absolutely.
with that knowledge.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we hear a lot about pronouns these days. Why is it important to ask people their pronouns? Why is it important for you to have it in your signature? What does it even mean? What is the gender binary? We talk about all of that, and it's really, there's no judgment on anything that came before, because we're all learning.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm learning. I mean, I had to do intensive research with a lot of educators to figure out how to present the most broadest, but also the most particular pieces of information to talk about our LGBTQ community at large, global, because a rural, a lesbian couple in Arkansas is going to have different needs
Absolutely.
than a metropolitan queer couple, in New York.
Absolutely.
And so we really want to talk about all these different segments of our community to help vendors and venues serve them no matter where they are in the world.
Very good. So do you have programs for vendors?
We do. So on equallywedpro.com, we launched a certification program for vendors or anybody in the event industry to come in and get certified as LGBTQ plus inclusive. It really is the full spectrum of education on our community, how to better serve us, and also how to grow your business in the process.
Awesome.
And then on equallywed.com, we also have a way of connecting LGBTQ plus couples and vendors who want to celebrate them authentically and really embrace who they are and celebrate them. And so we do that with our directory.
Yeah.
We have a few different levels of membership, but our goal is to serve our LGBTQ plus couples
Yep.
with the most inclusive vendors possible. So we really want to, be as connecting as we can to get everybody to meet one another and see, how to produce the wedding of their dreams.
Absolutely.
With the most inclusive people possible.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. So how can potential clients reach and follow you at equallywed.com?
Sure. Well, the easiest there, you said at equallywed.com. We are on Twitter at equallywed. We're Facebook at equallywed magazine. Instagram, did I already say that? At equallywed. Pinterest at equallywed. Pretty much if you search equallywed, you're going to find us. And then, for the vendors and event professionals, equallywed pro, same thing. Instagram, equallywed pro. Twitter, equallywed pro. Facebook, equallywed pro.
You got it.
Yeah, we're all over. Come find us.
Too easy. Nice. All right. Good job. So once again, I'd like to thank my guest, Kirsten, the editorial director and co-founder of Equally Wed. All of equallywed.com's contact information will be in the description, linked below. And you'll also be able to go to equallywed.com through our website at forgoodnesscakes.net. So that'll do it for today's episode. Please like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, life is too short to skip cake. See ya. Good job, Kirsten.
Good job.
Very good. Very good. Good. She's not human. We got a blooper.
Yeah,
Right. Can you... No, that's good. That's good right there. The editorial director and... shit. I was good, too. All right,
you're doing fine.
the other way.
And twin sons. And
Okay. All right. And then hit the lens. Yeah, under the table. I'm a handy guy, so. No, you're good. You're good. We always end up on time. We're totally fine. Oh my goodness gracious. Cool. I'm not using my hands a lot, right? I'm like, ugh. All right, here we go.
He always does that. Always.
Because I see it in my mind.
Dude.